Okay, here's a quick crash course to the terminal. You open the terminal by typing terminal into Spotlight or by finding it in your applications, and it will open a text window which is basically what is happening behind your user interface. This is your actual computer talking here. And we're going to learn a few basic commands. So when you open up the terminal, it's going to look something like this with, maybe you don't have this part, but you'll have your name here, maybe the name of your computer, maybe it says desktop, maybe you just have a little tilde. The first command we're going to learn is ls. ls will list all the files of where you are. Here, let me open up a new terminal window. Here we go. This is probably what it's going to look like for you. Now if you type ls, it will list all the folders and files that are in your home directory. So this just lists all the files of where you are, and where you are is home. This little tilde here means you're in your home directory. Okay. Now the next command is cd. cd allows us to change the directory, because maybe we want to go out of our home directory and have a look what's happening in our desktop. So we type cd for change directory, and we type desktop, enter. And here we go. We're on the desktop. Now, maybe we want to go back to our home directory. So we can type cd tilde, option N and space, and enter. And this takes us home to our home directory. Now, there's a little shortcut here. If we type cd and we just type the first few letters and hit tabulator, it will autocomplete the name of the file. Now, if I only type D and tab, I have multiple folders that start with D. So now it will suggest all the folders. So we want to go into desktop. I continue typing and hit tab after a few letters. And here we are. Now I type ls to see what's in here. This is my desktop mess. And I want to go back to my home directory. So either I type cd tilde, as we did before, or I can type cd dot dot. cd space dot dot. Dot dot means go back up one level in your directory structure. Here we go. I'm back in my home directory. Okay. Now, the next command we're going to learn is open. Open works for applications and files. It doesn't open a folder. If we want to open a folder, go into a folder, we change directory. So cd desktop, here we go. We list all the files, and now let's say we open a file called Chris Marker Siberia MP4. Okay, so I type open, and I start typing Chris and hit tab, and it will autocomplete the entire name. So we don't have to type the entire thing each time we want to open it. So open Chris tab, I mean in your case you'll open some other file, and enter. And here we go. Open the file for me. Now we want to clear up this mess here in the terminal. So what we do is we type clear, and it clears up the window. Now maybe we don't know where we are, so we can type pwd, and it will tell us where we are. Okay. Now in the terminal you can move around on your computer, you can open files, but there are also applications that work only inside your terminal. So that's what we use the terminal for in general. So for example, we want to run a program called top. Top will tell us all the software that's running on our computer. That's the ones you see when you look in your dock, but there's also plenty of applications you don't see, so plenty of processes that your computer is running behind your user interface. So if we type top, it will give us a list of all the processes running on the computer, how much CPU it uses, the memory, and threads, and so on and so on. We can even kill processes by typing their number and so on, but we're not going to do that now. So we see I have Windows Server running. That's basically the thing that shows all the windows in the Finder. I have top itself running. I have a lot of processes that use my CPU without me actually knowing. I have Safari here, whoops, somewhere, and so on. To get out of this, I type Control-C on the keyboard, Control key and C, and that will get me out of top. So top to look at all the processes, and Control-C to get out of it. Another very useful piece of software is Python. Python, as you probably know, is a programming language, which I'm not going to get into right now. But if I type Python in the terminal, it will open this thing here, which is the Python interpreter. I can now do some Python calculations and functions. And I can quit Python like this. Quit parentheses, and I'm back in my terminal. One final command is reboot. This is going to reboot your computer. So maybe you don't want to do that. And luckily, it doesn't allow us to do it. There are a few special commands which you need special permissions to do it. There's a nice little cartoon that explains this. Make me a sandwich. Make it yourself. Sudo, make me a sandwich. Okay. So if I type sudo reboot and hit enter, my computer's going to reboot after I type my password, which I'm not going to do.